What's going on, guys? Orange Bull here, and welcome back to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Now, in the last video, we found out about a couple of things. Like, number one, we found out what happens if we go out one of our windows, in the office. We also found out, what happens if we don't actually disable the mind control device. But I think the major takeaway of the last video is that we found out that we're already getting access to the new content. I said this already in the previous video, but I thought that I wasn't gonna be able to gain access to the new content until after I had completed probably all of the original endings of the game. But no, after I beaten one of the endings, I was gonna continue doing finding the computers that had the inputs needed computers, see what would happen. But then I found a random door that said new content on it, and this is where we are now. So yeah, I'm starting this video off right away. I'm recording this video right away after the last one because, oh man, I just want to see what we're going to be experiencing next. And I think a lot of you guys want to know about that too. So without further ado, let's go. So yeah, right off the bat, you already noticed that this isn't the same office. Apparently, this looks like some kind of behind-the-scenes thing going on here or whatever. For a split second there, I thought going near this picture was gonna transport me back into the actual office, a la Super Mario 64. But no, but.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
But there's a clear... okay. Alright, I'm a little curious here. Oh, okay, there's a random wrench there. Okay. Narrator? Okay, where's this going? What's happening? So we're in a vent system now. Please don't tell me.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Oh my God. Whoa. What is this? What am I looking at right now? Are we going to be entering the world of Game of Thrones all of a sudden? Oh.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Oh my God, this is incredible.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of spacing out a little bit here. I mean, not only what the narrator was just saying, but I am just in awe right now with this. I don't want to... Again, there is something I do want to bring up of what this is all reminding me of, but I don't want to give it away here just yet because we haven't reached this particular ending. But, this is just giving me vibes here. Not only some nostalgic vibes, even though I didn't really, play the game when it initially came out, but this is something else right here. The greatest wealth is memory. You know what? That's completely accurate. Memory can be one of the greatest wealths you could ever receive. Memories you have with friends and family, and all the experiences like you have in life. So yeah, so amen to that one. Don't forget the Stanley Parable. Memory, sweet memory. Ah, yes. You cannot forget about the point when the original Stanley Parable first came out on Steam. Simpler times. Such simpler times. 2014 Indie Game Festival Audience Award for the Stanley Parable. I don't know if that's a real award that that the original game got, but it would be kind of cool little Easter egg, or a nice little nod. Really, what is this? The British Academy of Film and Television Arts awarded to... I don't know what it says behind the label, but clearly the narrator probably put the label on there, and it's instead of whatever it is. Oh, wait a minute. I could see a little bit of it. It says The Last of Us in the category of story. That's a funny little thing that the developers have actually legit poked fun of in the past, and it's so cool it's so hilarious that you should see this for real in the game itself. Smile because it happened. You know the old saying, right? Don't be sad it's over. Smile because it happened. That's actually a legit, really good quote to live by. But no matter how many times when someone actually says it to you, though, you do realize it's still sad no matter what. But again, that is the truth. Smile because it happened. This is a real throwback. The demo had some real good bits and pieces of the game that we know now about it, but had its own little neat little a story arc really sewn into it itself. That demo was also a lot of fun too.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
That is kind of accurate almost about this, but I'm loving this little moment right here, just reflecting how long it's been since the original game first came out, which again, just to re-emphasize, it's been 9 years since the original game came out. Hard to believe. All the awards, that the original game either won or at least was either nominated for. I didn't get to say this before, but I'm probably going to be passing up a lot of stuff that we're going to be seeing here. So if there's anything that I missed or whatever, or there's something that that you want to look at yourself, just obviously pause the video and take a look for yourself. But this is some really amazing stuff here. I could literally look at some of the stuff for hours. And, oh, look at that! I was bringing this up in the previous video. I was bringing this up in the first video. I was saying that, the original Stanley Parable had, a different altered ending, version, for, completely disobeying, the narrator. And you get, 2 different games to play. The original game had, the Minecraft ending that you see in that image over there. It's, it's really great that at least they're acknowledging, that ending. Oh, look at this. Was the Stanley Parable originally going to be released physically? Or was it released physically? Again, I don't actually know. Let me know in the comments if it actually was, but... Oh man, so... even I'm starting to feel a little bit nostalgic because, again, I remember seeing people like when like Steam Train was like originally a thing on Game Grumps. I remember when like Danny and Ross played the original game and the great reactions that they got out of it, and even like some of the great commentary to like the actual full game, like when Jacksepticeye played it as well. Like,
here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Won't deny it is kind of true that like the original game should be left alone, or just like the original game probably should have just only been like remastered or whatever. But I don't know. The developers probably just like really felt like the game like if they were gonna re-release like the game again years later, they would probably add like some kind of new content or whatever. Again, like what the narrator is saying, that's probably just for the narrative of like the in-universe like a game itself. When we're talking about like the actual developers like who worked on this remastered version, I think they had some really great intentions for wanting to do this, and clearly we're seeing what they really wanted to do with this. A way to reflect on like the high praise that the original game got all those years ago, and just for anybody like who decided to come back and just relive like some of those memories when the game was like so originally popular. I mean, the game is still popular now. I mean, thanks to this like Ultra Deluxe version, like it's kind of gotten a lot of attention again. But it's just one of those things that really makes you reflect. Oh my god! The serious room? They actually have a real display of the serious room. For those of you who are very confused here, apparently this kind of has the same effect here. Like, this does have the same effect here, but like, if you were to like activate the SV_ cheats that you would get when playing the first 2 Portal games, like the game would automatically redirect you towards this particular area where you would pretty much the game would just sort of just like poke fun at you just for trying to activate cheats or whatever, when the game doesn't really have that many cheats to begin with or whatever. I'm probably not describing this the best way, but like This is the only best way I can explain it, but like it was such a hilarious thing to see happen. Like the game actually dissing you for trying to cheat in some way like that.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again.
Yeah. Exactly. I couldn't agree more. There are tons of stuff in life aside from for people who want to relive the original game all over again, that just wants to go back and just relive some nostalgic memories over again. But unfortunately, as some people have said before, no matter if you guys have heard them or if I've heard them, it's that you can't hold yourself too much. You can't keep yourself too much in the past. You just got to keep moving forward. But it is always good to reflect on those nostalgic memories every now and then.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
I don't know. I thought this was an area that you had. What the hell?
Oh no. God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh, no. Oh, no. We're doing this. First of all, it's actually very ironic that I actually am playing the Steam version, of the Ultra Deluxe version. So this really enhances things you to even better extent. But oh no, yeah, this is something that I probably should have expected was gonna happen. Certain things from the past aren't always gonna be as positive as you remember, and we're about to see one of those reviews that someone probably left on the original game that wasn't so, well, very positive.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full complete. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
I love the way how the narrator said, unfunny! Just the way how he said it is just so funny. Just how pissed off he seems by that one review. See, this is what everyone keeps on saying, no matter if it's reviews for a game or if it's comments on a certain video or whatever. You do not look at the comments. It is not recommended because it is gonna make you feel terrible about it. This is something everybody knows about now. And unfortunately, the narrator's not handling that part very well. Oh boy. What now?
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, his preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I?
No.
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. But dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to.
Oh.
These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure.
Yeah, here we go.
Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Yeah, this is the unfortunate factor for, as I said before, when you read certain comments or reviews of a game or something that you'll see from someone, you feel so confident with the work that you put into a certain thing that you'll think that everyone else is going to enjoy it too. And then when you see someone a comment saying that oh, this game is completely awful, it could be pretty decent for a little bit, but it's overall just very tedious at the watch through and just not very well done at all, period. That's the best kind of an example I can kind of give, but just you feel so terrible inside just knowing that your work, the hard work that you put into something, doesn't satisfy certain people. When then again, as long as it's not a trollish a kind of comment or whatever, it's only just their opinion. I don't know, but you really feel bad for the narrator in this situation.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
Oh no.
A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Oh, no. Yeah, I don't like where this is going.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choice. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think.
I'm not skipping this, by the way, just to be
clear.
clear.
My theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor.
I was going to mention, like, before, like, over the fact that, like, it's funny, like, how the game allows you to skip, like, the intro, like, a scene or whatever, like, when you either start the game for the first time or for, like, when you're going back into it. In my case, like, when you play the game like for the first time, it's always good to like watch the opening cutscene, like hear what what dialogue that is to be said. But like when you're going back into the game, like again, or in my case, like starting another part like of this series and like going back into the game again, it's necessary to like skip it over again because well, you simply have heard it before. But in cases what the narrator is like trying to portray here, it's like sure the narrator can go on like for a long time and like ramble or whatever, kind of what I'm maybe doing here for some of you guys, but like the narrator may ramble on, but like I'm always invested to hear what he has to say because, well, quite frankly, if a person has like a good sounding voice, then I'm gonna want to hear what they have to say. Well, actually, no matter the case, like, I'm always very interested to hear what a person has to say if they actually have something, like, a very good to say. And in this case, well, mostly, like, I kind of want to hear what the narrator says, but you know, if the game is basically just going to force me to skip it over, then I may not have a choice.
It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise,
Okay, I don't have a choice here, don't I?
Treatise. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you?
You sly dog! You got me monologuing! I can't believe it.
But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial, something along the lines of, "This game is the best game." Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes?
45 minutes?
Unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again.
I'm not.
I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here?
Yeah, there was a door.
Where did the door go?
Where did it go?
Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before.
Yes, there was.
I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall?
I'm trying.
Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here.
I am working with you.
We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
Okay, so I don't know if I am forced to actually press the skip button. I don't know what's gonna happen here if I do. Probably something worse is gonna happen, but the narrator's right. There was a door there. What happened? I'm so confused right now. Like, did the skip button have something to do with it? Okay, I'm gonna cut back, like, okay, so, I'll skip to the part, like, if either the narrator comes back himself, or if I have no choice but to press the skip button whatsoever. Alright guys, so, apparently, I didn't want to search this up, because I obviously didn't want to, like, spoil anything for myself, but, as it turns out that, the narrator does not come back, so I now do not have a choice here. I'm gonna have to press the skip button. And, from one of you guys, like, have been saying, like, specifically on Reddit, like, I'm really glad to hear that a lot of you guys don't really want to, like, skip through any of the narrator's, like, dialogue or anything like that, because you want to, like, you know, support him or whatever for what he has to say. And quite frankly, that's the same way how I feel too, but, you in the case of this particular ending, I can't do anything about it. I can't, like, a lot of people wait like 3 hours, and he still doesn't come back. So, yeah, I guess we gotta press the button. I'm so sorry about this, narrator. I'm so sorry.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
12 hours?
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea
This is
who
exactly
they
what
are.
I've been saying before.
What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child. Wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone.
Oh, man.
And that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews.
This is where things start to
those
look
reviews
here,
that I couldn't get out of my head.
He is absolutely right. This is exactly what I've been saying before. You can't take a certain review or a certain comment that someone says too personally. You have to just either accept of what the person says for whatever legit opinion they have for it, or if it's a completely hurtful comment, you just got to ignore it. You really can't do anything about it. You can't try to cave in and to do what the person demands of you to do. It's not healthy for a person to do that. It's just not.
Couldn't ignore the negative feedback.
Let's hit it again.
Why was it so important for me? Oh, Stanley. You're back.
Oh.
You're back.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
A week?
Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground.
Jesus
One single
Christ.
thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction.
Oh, man.
Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps. Yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it.
This is getting deep
I can't
now.
be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real.
Ooh.
Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time.
You
What
won't.
a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
Oh, you're gonna run away from it. You are going to run away from it. Things are just gonna get worse and worse from here, but I'm gonna have no choice but to press the button. And it's not because of an impulse thing, it's just the game is demanding of it. The door is gone, almost all the lights have been put out. Oh man, this is something... I didn't think the game would take such a dark turn like this, all because the narrator kept reading those negative comments, or just negative reviews like of the original game so much. I thought this was just like going to be like some sort of pathway that would like, I don't know, reflect on all those like memories of like the past or whatever, but I mean, then again, the developers really probably just wanted to show off like some of the negative stuff that came from it. Which, in some regards, I'll say that's kind of a clever thing to do. That it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but like, for the sake of like the narrative, it's really depressing knowing that the narrator would get this completely mentally drained, knowing that like all of his hard work of the original game was just all for nothing. When he would see like such negative stuff like that, and especially for this, like it's just like this right here shows how much the narrator really needs Stanley. He can't live for a single moment without him, and in this regard, you really feel for him. All right, well, I could continue to talk on and on like if this was some kind of a podcast, but we gotta press the button again.
Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment, and I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to
really
fix
breaks my
it, but
heart
merely
here.
to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Fuck, man. I'm gonna have to keep a lot of this in, just to be clear on this now, because, like, this is, like, the deepest I think the Stanley Parable has ever gotten. I've already said enough, like, as it is, but, like, this is deep. And kind of depressing at the same time, too. Like, and a lot of people thought that suicide ending was, like, the darkest, or, like, the most depressingest, like, ending you could ever experience. But the developers just knocked it up a notch. Okay. Let's find out how much longer it's gonna be, or, in fact, what's gonna happen now. Oh, hey, another little attention to detail, like, there. The shrubs or the trees, the plants, like, leaves have fallen off. It's fading away. It's a little brighter in here now. Narrator? Oh my god, the fan's slowing down. Holy shit. You're not gonna say anything else, narrator? Are you done? You're not gonna say anything else? Have you suddenly died and we just don't know it yet? I'm gonna press it again. What the frick? That beep sound. Oh my god. I was about to question, like, what is that sound that is going to be playing, because the beeping sound is so irritating. But yeah, it's the fire alarm. I didn't even realize that there was a fire alarm in here. And yeah, apparently this fire alarm's batteries need to be changed. And also, by the way, enough time has passed to where the clock has now fallen off the wall. Oh man, okay.
But they didn't understand the game was
What?
never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much. They said, first, he didn't entertain us. Now he went, shut up. It's the inconsistency. It's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to
He spent a long period of time. I was just like thinking nonstop about how hurt he's felt for some of those reviews now, to a point where he's just let it simmered into his brain, and now just blabbering it out. Because, Stanley is basically his cushion. Even if he doesn't react in any way, he's basically his cushion. He basically just talks to him as if he's I don't know, just some kind of a therapist that doesn't really do anything. Or, I don't know. I don't have another analogy to describe it, but you get what I'm saying. Just time has not been doing too well for the narrator.
I'm in with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world, as though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever.
Yeah.
We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes, it seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves, they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amused them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But we get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the news.
Okay, yeah, the dialogue is starting to repeat itself again. But, like, I had to sit and listen, like, to really hear, like, the narrator's, like, true outburst to this, because, again, I feel so sorry for him, like in this scenario, to where he has to continuously think so hard to himself over how badly he feels after reading those negative reviews for the game, and now he had to cave into their demands for it. And after all those times, like how long he had been spending, like in the void, shall we put it, of him just like stirring up like all those negative thoughts like inside of him, to a point where he is flat out is now just like not even going to pay attention to the fact that Stanley is now back, like in control, and it's just like blabbering, like shouting it out loud, like to himself, because of how much this like really affected him. Like, man, this game makes you think. I mean, the original Stanley Parable made you think before, but like, it didn't make you think, like, in this matter. Just for how much something like this can really affect a person. And also, my God, like, I'm blanking on the name of the actor who played the narrator, but man, he must have had a serious field day, like while trying to read out all these lines. He put so much effort and like emphasis into every word he spoke out, like for when he was ranting all this. Like, it's so amazing. Like, again, I'm someone who always appreciates the true effort that like an actor, specifically like a voice actors of any kind, will put like this amount of attention like into how they phrase a certain word, or how much emotion like they put into each part of their sentence they read off of. It amazes me so much like how well done he really did while reading this. Like, I applaud you, sir. I really applaud you. Like, this is like probably the best acting I've ever heard him do. Even more than from the original game. I really mean that. He really did a lot more than what I was expecting from. Like, well done. Really well done. I can't say that enough. Just well done. But yeah, I still feel really bad for the narrator, though. I really wish he didn't have to go through any of this, but again, yeah, that really shows how much I care for like the characters like in this game.
Stanley Parable, we demand it, and
okay, now I hear uh-oh. That's not good. There's something leaking in here now. Oh boy, I have a feeling that like either the next skip or two is gonna have this place being flooded.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end,
oh
is never the end, 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 is never the end.
If he's gone insane now.
Is never the end, is never the end.
The narrator has officially lost his mind.
Is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Oh boy, it's really starting to leak in here now. Yep. It's leaking in here. We're gonna be having some major rivers that's gonna be coming in. Oh my god. Yep, things went to hell. Like, what the hell happened? How much longer have we been standing there? How long have we been standing there for now? Like, must have been like some kind of a hurricane that's like came to blow everything else away. God, the damage that's been done. Well, again, we have to keep going further. This is like that episode of Futurama where like the professor like builds that time machine that only goes forward in time. Fry, Bender, and the professor went so far like into the future to the point where they flat out saw the whole universe just end. That's what's happening here, like all around us. Like the more and more we keep pressing this button, the more and more things are going to get worse. I don't know if we're going to hear any more dialogue from the narrator. I don't know if he's just done. But yeah, something really bad's going to happen by the end of this. I just know it now. Oh my god. I stand corrected a little bit. I say a little bit because, like, I know something much worse is gonna happen, but, like, we have actual sunlight. I don't know if I should be feeling happy about this, or if I should feel more worried as to what's gonna happen, but yeah, this is a step in the right direction, I guess. Oh. Starting to Portal 2 all of a sudden. Lots of vegetation, like, has managed to grow now. Kind of beautiful. Especially with the music that's not playing. Alright, lay it on me. Oh my god. It's completely dark. The vegetation has turned to dust. This is kind of creeping me out now. Like, legit. What was that? Do I want to know what that is? No, skip. Oh. What? Dude. What is this? Wait, sorry, I'm very curious. Did the skip button like activate again? No, that's it. The skip button's gone. It's just we're done. The whole world has been destroyed around us. Now we get to wander on for the rest of eternity in this desert. Or, you know, what's left of the world. Oh, man. What an ending. What an ending. I've already said enough for, like, most of the stuff that was, like, said about, like, the narrator. And, like, you know, how badly I feel for him or whatever. But, like, we pressed the button so many times that we managed to see all life itself pretty much just end. And let's face it, the skip button basically just got worn out to a point where we now just spend the rest of eternity just wandering through a desert. Who knows what Stanley like is gonna experience from there? Just that's where all things end, I guess. Yeah, that's it. That's the first of probably several new endings like that are in this Ultra Deluxe version. I don't really have anything else to add that I've already said before, but what a very unique ending is all that I can really say now at this point. So yeah, hope you all really enjoyed that. I'm gonna need some time to recover like a little bit from that, since that did resonate a little bit with me as well, and I bet it actually may have gotten some of you guys a little bit too. But yeah, I guess I'll see you all like for the next part. Don't know what we're going to be experiencing next from there, but I don't know if anything else will be able to top this one, that's for sure. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed, and also leave a comment. And until the next video, take care.